Hey everyone, how's it going? It's great to talk to you all. This is a special end of year video. I'm making a single video for the 3 projects we have. The Nilsson Invest channel, which you already know, the Dinero A2D channel. Which is good, right? There's a face behind those simpler, but very objective videos, and the most recent channel. For our North American friends, the Simple Man 2D. So, I'll do a translation of this video into English for you later, using some app. So, besides wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year, full of God's presence, full of good things and blessings for your families, I want to share a little bit of my story and 3 fundamental points from my perspective on this journey. The channel started around 2021, and in the last 2 years, I've intensified my desire to teach, focusing more on the basics of financial education. Before, it was more about investments, real estate funds. Okay, so now it's about investing in the United States. I use an Ahmed, and I still operate in the United States. But in the last 2 years I've practically focused more on financial education and teaching people. I've listened to and spoken with many people, and 3 points stand out for me. Almost everyone comments on them. They've been through this. They're going through it, and I wanted to bring them to you to strengthen this idea of financial education, this faith in what can make this year different through 3 teachings. 3 points of wisdom that I'll share from now on. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, comment, and send it to your friends. Those family members you love so much, who are also going through financial difficulties. The first point is fundamental, the beginning of. It's really about having a family budget, right? You can do it in a notebook, on paper, use apps, use spreadsheets. But I think it's so important that I didn't even intend to create apps, and I created the turbocharged family budget. It'll be described below. I'll leave it here for you. It's based on base 44. So the entire database is there. I don't really have access to anyone's information, but I know that we've already passed 100 users of the app. Thank you for your trust. I've put everything there, okay? It has everything I had in Mobios, the paid version, then I went back to the free version. But everything I wanted to have there is there for you, right? Credit cards. Managing debts, there are also investment things. So you can have free access so that you can really control your finances. So the first thing you have to do is have an X-ray of your current situation, like that injury you have on your knee from falling, right? I'm remembering back in my childhood, riding my bike, when it was time to change a bandage. You know, it hurts, you take it off, you see how injured it is, and when you really see the situation, you get really bothered, you get a shock, right? Many people told me, oh my God, I don't know where all those 10 Brazilian reals went, so much money that he spent after he put it on paper, through loans, he saw courses, and not only him or this friend who commented, but other people were shocked, right, when they took off the bandage to touch it, changed the bandage, saw that it was injured and needed to take care of their finances, right? Remember, debts are the enemy of your family, right? It's a war plan, right? Having a budget to know where every penny goes. Every real, every dollar, so having one is fundamental. It can be simple, it can be more complex, but have a budget. Know where your resources are going so you can plan. Overcoming debt, planning investments, planning dreams, right? For your family, remember, every debt, everything you pay for, due to high consumption. You're taking food out of your children's mouths in the future. So consider debt the enemy of your family. Seek a budget, use our free turbocharged family budget so you can have a reliable overview. I'm telling you, of all the people I've worked with, I'm not saying 100%, but more than 90% only had a vague idea of their budget. Others didn't have one. Some had a more complex, more elaborate budget. But even so, they didn't follow what was written there. So have a budget, take care of your finances, plan for the future, okay? Because it can arrive and you might be shocked by what you see ahead. Another thing, my friends, is point number 2 that I bring to you, the emergency fund. So another fundamental point, which I always talk about in my mentoring sessions. The friends who, people, often ask me about the importance of an emergency fund. Because it's not about when the bad day arrives, but you know if the bad day will come. But when it will definitely come. It's a flat tire, someone hits your car, a health expense you weren't expecting. If you don't have this emergency fund, you'll have to borrow money. Use your credit card. Above your limit, take out loans to cover that unforeseen expense. So I recommend, if you're in debt, for example, set aside 100 Brazilian reals to pay debts and 50 Brazilian reals. A 1-to-2 ratio to build an emergency fund. Because having this emergency fund is as important as fighting debt because you've been struggling. Imagine you're working hard to overcome debt. You don't have a reserve, something unexpected happens, you end up borrowing money again. Getting into debt again, and all your previous work. It can all fall apart, right? All your effort can be undermined. Because you don't have something to satisfy a need that will arise. On a bad day, because it will come, okay? So set aside 10 Brazilian reals to pay the bill and our $5 to build your emergency fund. You'll leave it in a place that has high liquidity, you can withdraw it at any time, okay? And preferably, it can earn the interest rate of your country or state. United, right, from Portugal or Brazil. So that while you sleep your money will also earn interest and your savings will grow. Another important point, the reserve is for emergencies. So don't use it to buy something you need. To satisfy a craving, no. This reserve is for emergency situations, okay? So protect your emergency reserve, only use it in cases of extreme urgency, okay? But build it up to how many salaries, how many monthly expenses? 3, 6, 2? It depends on your type of profession. If it's a more stable profession, you can have 3, 6 months worth saved, right? If I'm self-employed, my income is inconsistent. I have 12, 18, 24 months worth. You'll build it up over time. It's not quick. You build it up so that you have a financial cushion. So that on a bad day you won't be surprised and end up in debt. So the second point I leave you with is to have an emergency reserve and take good care of it. Okay, friends, the third point, also a fundamental one, right? Many people I've talked to have said things like, oh, when I get a promotion, I'll improve my finances, or when I receive such and such money, or when I win the lottery. I've even heard that before. Quote, it will change my situation. But to paraphrase Jesus, in 2 instances of the multiplication of the loaves and fishes, he asks, how many loaves do you have? Or rather, what do you have in your hand? In Peter's case, in that the miraculous catch of fish that he witnessed, right? With his companions, after fishing all night and catching nothing, Jesus tells them to return to the deepest part of the lake and cast their nets on the right side of the boat, and that's where the miraculous catch happens. So, he didn't tell the master to go back and change the nets, improve the boat, or improve the crew. No. You use what you have as a starting point for great things to come. So don't wait for something big, for the situation to change, for the government to change. Changing, right? The economic environment, right? Macroeconomic change in the world. Start with what you have, right? God used Joseph, the dreamer, the interpreter. He used Moses, his staff. He used the life of someone with a heart like God's. So he will use what you have as the starting point of the whole journey, right? It's the first step. So, don't wait for big things, external things to happen so that you can change your situation. At least start. Use what you have, present it. I have this salary, I have these debts. Give me direction, God, so that I can overcome them. Don't wait for something from the outside to come, because usually it doesn't, and you live spinning your wheels, living the same story, maintaining the cycle of debt, the cycle of unbridled consumption, as long as you don't start from the starting point, and you're going to work on that so that it may bear fruit later. So if this is another third step for you, use what you have at hand, and from there things will happen, right? Don't wait for things to happen from the outside, okay? That's it, folks. First the budget, then the emergency fund. Then, right? Use what you have. Don't wait for things to happen from the outside. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, full of peace and health. May God bless you, and may we have a year full of good news and hard work. May we do our part, using what we have at hand, so that we can bless our homes, our communities, and those around us, okay? It was really good, wasn't it? This year was quite interesting. I hope to continue helping, and if you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave your like, okay? Our friends in the United States will also receive the dubbed version, okay? We're still together, right? I also have a version of the family budget. I'll see if I can put it in the first pinned comment, okay? And I'll also leave our turbocharged family budget in the comments of the Nilsson Investe channel. On the Duran 2D channel, okay? It was a pleasure and an honor to have you all. I hope to see you all in 2026, which is almost here. There are practically 9 days left until the new year arrives, and May. We have a blessed year. Thank you very much for your patience, okay? We're together. See you later.